Have you noticed a little bit of lack of momentum after being in lockdown or being in quarantine? The self-isolation has got to you a little and you've slowed down in your business. Or you're kind of like, I've got to get out there and find some new customers. One of my clients had 30 to 40% of his business dropped down straight after coming out of lockdown. And this really threw him. So is that something that's happening to you, or are you just wondering how to get going again? How do you compete in this new environment? Some of the issues that are happening, you don't necessarily have the clients you've always had. You may not even be able to run your business in the way that you've run it before. There's been a number of different clients who are having these issues, and I'm wondering if that's really happening to you. One of the biggest complaints that I sort of found when people were sort of moving out was this feeling of not actually going to be that busy, or they'll sort of wondering about how could we work for less and be able to survive. Or with less clients, how are they going to operate? And those sorts of things were really, really hitting. One of the biggest things, though, was when we stop and we're concerned about our health or something else, we also start to wonder what's it going to look like going forward. And a lot of those stresses really can stop us in our tracks. So, I know some of my clients, they were so busy before they went into lockdown, before that time, and they were like, I could really do with a holiday. But because of the issues that happened to them, they were kind of in a state of just stressed out for a good 3 weeks. And then it wasn't until things started to lift or shift that they were able to start to even concentrate on their business and what they wanted to do. So they didn't even get that holiday feeling, or they didn't get that creative time, and they didn't get that break. Now that cortisol, that stress that runs through your system, is one of those things that really stops you in your tracks. Another thing is also just not knowing how to actually what are the skills? Do I actually really understand selling? And I hate sales, so how often do you feel like, I really hate sales, I really don't want to do this thing, what's it all about? It all seems bizarre. Anyway, this is something that we're wanting to really explain and help you with the different 4 pillars that exist in selling. So these are wrapped around the buyer's cycle of motivation, the winning wheel, our winning wheel framework that all buyers go through, that we need to tick those boxes every single time that we are doing a Facebook post, that we're interacting with our customer on the phone, or we're interacting with them face to face. And so those 4 areas. So one is a service type of selling, and that's where the customer is ready to buy. Many of our customers, with 4% of people, are ready to buy from you right now. Have you got your offering in a way that they can look at it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and be able to either book an appointment with you, book a call with you, to talk to you about it, or to be able to actually buy the product online. That's number one in that one space. If people are ready to buy, are you ready to sell? Are your doors open? Have you got your people in place? Do they understand what you're offering right now? Do they understand how to bring people in? I just saw a funny thing on Costco the other day, and the guy was, about the mask, etc., in front of us, and he was not wanting to wear the mask, and the guy was just like, right, we're leaving. So obviously Costco had some real clear guidelines to their team about what they wanted. If they wanted that or not, whatever it is, it's gone viral and it's out there. So ensuring that you have the same conversation every single time, to your team, to what you're wanting within your business, or also within yourself. What's the messaging? And how are you going to make sure that if your customer wants to take action, if they want to buy from you, that you are able to make sure that that process is really, really simple for them to achieve that. The second level of the selling is your competition. So at this point in time, it's really, really important to understand who you are inside of your marketplace. What's your standout feature? Is it price? Is it value? Is it quality? Is it your people? Is it you? You know, what's the thing, that one thing that you stand out above everyone else, so that you're able to promote that your reviews, you know, do they explain it? Your customer reviews that you've got online, do they explain the difference of you over someone else out there in the marketplace or your business? The other level is retention selling. So we often forget this, but we've sold to the client, and it might be only a small ticket item, whatever it is, or they've booked a small call, etc. Following up is key. So retention selling, how are we going to retain the clients that you have? What's the strategy that exists there? And making sure that that's executed every single time. What you're wanting to do is actually pick up on the customers that aren't quite as happy as you'd like, or they'd like, and if you don't call them, they'll be talking to someone else. So 5% of customers complain out of the 100% that are actually dissatisfied. So it's not 5% of your customers at all, like, so the good ones and the ones who are happy, etc. It's the 5% that are unhappy, that are unhappy enough to complain. So it's important that you have a strategy around retaining that customer and building it. And so there's a number of those blocks that we build on with our customer in order to move them from, potentially, if they don't know who you are and they've bought from you for the first time, then you get a chance to be able to build that relationship to retain them as a customer going forward. The other area that is very, very fascinating is when your customer doesn't even know that they need you. So being able to work in that area, it's a new customer. So this is not a customer that actually understands that product or service exists, or that they even want to work with it, because those are the ones that are in the competitive space. You know, they already know about your product, they're looking around, and they're wanting to be able to compare you, right, against your who they know already, if they already know that area, or whoever's already talked to them. So the nice thing about this long-term strategy within creative is you being able to create awareness of those needs, being able to create awareness that you could do things better for them, or their life could be better. So it's not a fast one. It could be that you catch them at that right time, and so therefore they're able to put that into their heads and be able to understand their problem or their opportunity. And it's not until they start to really focus on that you're able to that they're going to be able to build this pain. Many people make a number of mistakes where they've already worked out what the problem is, and so they go around and they tell the person what the problem. The creative piece is more about storytelling. It's awakening people around possibility, around what's possible for them in their life going forward, or awakening the issues that are for them. So a problem that you may have already worked out your product for, what you're going to do is actually understand the questions that you need to ask to help someone become aware of the problem that they might have, and to focus on it and look at, you know, their whole life and what's going on, and be able to go, hey, yep, that's the biggest problem that I've got right now, and I'm looking to talk to someone about it. And if you've already been that person that you started talking to them about this thing, then you've got a better competitive edge than someone else, as opposed to waiting for that person to understand that that's the need that they have and go looking for it. So you've been the person who's been able to sow the ideas in their mind, and you know your product and how it is and how it sits against the rest of the world in that space, or with the rest of the industry. So I have a few more videos online that you're able to have a look at and understand a few of these concepts, and then, you know, feel free to book a call with me to go through and discover, you know, what is it, you know, you might just need a one-on-one that just says, hey, it's this area, this is the space, go forth and put that into action for you within your business. It might be that you really want to understand sales on a whole other level, and so therefore, have a look at that, book into our workshop if you like, that we're going to be running mid-July, or have a look online and look into a coaching possibility. Any of those will all work. First, put a call, book a call with me, and discover how we can work together and make things really fly for your business going forward.